Welcome to Season 2 of Why Your Business is Invisible Online. This season, we focus on the dramatic change artificial intelligence is having on your online visibility. Joining me are my two co-hosts, and here they are.
Hi, this is Jim Filatico. I'm currently obsessed with planning my next beach adventure for my whole family.
Hi, I'm Kelly Biggs. We're talking about AI this season. I'm wondering, can I get an AI agent to clean my house?
And I'm your host, John Manatis, still glued to my guitar, but with my new band planning our next tour. Okay, everyone, we're back again, another new episode, and fortunately, we're still going to keep talking about content being king because it really is that important. Today, we touched on this before, but today we really want to dive a little deeper into this idea. The content that really converts is going to be more important than ever because of this concept of zero clicks. We touched on that phrase, zero clicks. And, one way to summarize that very quickly is that we're officially in this answer at a glance sort of era. Users ask their question, AI hands in the answer, and the answer comes immediately. And therefore, the prospect or the potential client never ends up on your website, which at first glance sounds terrible, but it's also a pretty huge opportunity for companies and brands that really know how to package their authority, or that domain authority we keep talking about. If you can package that authority up front, you can make a huge impact. Now, there's lots more we can do, and there's lots more we'll talk about on that front. But let's spend some time now just talking about how we can craft high intent content that wins trust, drives action. Even if the click never comes, how do we still make an impact in this zero click sort of world? So Kelly, you're going to kick it off for us to talk about the what section. What is it we're really discussing here? And so what does high intent content really look like now when people might never actually visit your website?
That's a question that's packed with a lot of, I think, potential ways that we could kind of go with that, right? Mm-hmm. So I think you did a good job of describing what zero click is. And so for the audience, I'm a visual person. So if you think about, even if you go to Google and not even going to your GPTs or your chats or your Perplexities, any AI search engine, what you're doing is you're typing in something, and instead of seeing links to other sites to get more information, what you're going to see is this is the answer to your question. So to me, it's the content that earns trust that's going to be the ones that are going to appear. One of my clients, for instance, runs a printing and merchandising business. I've talked about that. And additionally, initially when I was talking to him, he just wanted on his website, all I want on my website is to list products, right? Like these are the products that I buy and sell. And so what was interesting about that was that that's just not going to show up in It's not going to show up in AI because there's thousands of people who sell that, right? It's a commoditized type of a business. And so what things could you do is what I think every business owner should be asking themselves. And in this instance, what's interesting is there's some powerful statistics. Like, so for instance, and I don't know them, but we talked about it before, like if putting magnets on your car, it raises visibility by a certain percentage. When you buy a pen, for instance, if you're doing branding, the number of times people see that pen, there's a number attached to that. There's a number attached to a lip balm. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but some that they have those, and the number of uses you get out of that. I know the other day for my vending machine, I was, somebody gave me in some trade show or something that I was in a box cutter. Now I use it all the time. And so every time I go in, like I see that company's name on it. And so now if you think about if a person was typing in, what type of promo should I put in my trade show bag, right? And you have the right answer to that question with statistics, then that's how you're going to get to the zero click, right? That position. Because now you're doing, that's what the information game looks and feels like. It's not just, here are the products. I think the people who have a huge opportunity here are people who actually think they're referral-based businesses. And so because their website is probably packed of people that they expect to know them already, but if they take just a little bit more time with them and think about, okay, how could I position this differently? I think they could put themselves in a position to win and get that conversion. Because if you keep in mind, it's zero click. So it's just going to be a snippet of the information. So if you put something in there that is clickable, that's going to get them to their site. But now you just make sure, okay, this is what this person is looking for. Give them even more information and it'll be ready for them.
Yeah, it's really sounding like you have to be way more specific, maybe not verbose, but specific about what makes you different, what makes you stand out, and almost anticipate what they need in advance.
I think that's more important, because you have to move to what you're knowing your user and what your user is looking for and solving that for them. That, and by then they're going to get to the value that you've created, right?
You just reminded me of a recent story. Actually, my personal injury lawyer, who they're amazing, but super smart too. And so my last conversation with both of them, they were lamenting how, when we first started out, because I've been with him a number of years, they were loving the fact how they were never on page one. We got them to page one. They were thrilled. Then they started seeing themselves in the map pack and at the top, right? And they were going, wow, look at this. This is really working. And then, unfortunately, the conversation I had with him this time was, John, what's going on? Like, we're doing all this work, but, it's still good. But, there's all this stuff crowded at the top now. And he goes, yeah, we're still on page one. Okay, we're happy with that. But it's page one. We're at the bottom of page one, though, because
no one likes to scroll.
Yeah. They hate the scrolling, and it was the first time I heard that from a client. He actually, I'm sure they're all thinking it, but he was really verbal about it. He said, what can we do about it? And it's what we're going to talk about today, obviously. But he was not happy about all the sponsored above him and everything else. So anyway, we do have some solutions for you, Jim. How are your clients adjusting to zero click answers from ChatGPT, Perplexity, etc.? Obviously, this isn't just a traditional Google issue. It's also because of the AI tools that are giving you a direct answer right away, and showing up there is critical.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's even if they go to Google and you're getting the SGE, or if they go directly to Chat or Perplexity, or pick your favorite flavor. What we're doing now is we're trying to optimize more for the actual answers, and we talk about this, right? It's not just a search anymore. It's answering the question, solving a problem. So the initial search now, I think people are getting more, and we've talked about this too. They're getting more verbose. They're putting more information in the search, and so you have that opportunity. You need to try to show up at that zero click so you can answer that issue, solve that problem. But if not, you want to make sure that you're at least on the first page, so that way if someone's going to click, they're going to click on you. And so that's, like I said, that's optimizing for the answers, not just trying to rank for a particular keyword. That's kind of old school now. The other thing is you want to kind of interject your brand everywhere you can in the answers, because that's unique, right? I mean, that's going to pull you up and flash your brand in front of that search. And not just having that one piece of content, but having what we call clusters. So, things around that, the answer, the how, what, when, how, why, all those questions helps kind of build the authority of just that one simple question. That one problem someone has is they may ask now, okay, how much? Or whatever, right? How much is it to replace a water heater, or, what can I expect for this or whatever? So putting all that content around that helps. And then making sure that you're tracking your actual visibility online, doing the SEMrush reports, and that's what we can help with, but doing those reports that really track it to see, you think you may not be there, but you are. Or maybe you need some work, because you're not showing up. So that's important. Like Kelly said earlier, it's about developing that trust and that authority, so that way you're served up because you deserve it, right? Because you're showing that authority, you're answering the questions, you're getting to the root of the problem. And so theoretically, zero-click really won't hurt you at all, as long as you're doing the work to make sure that you're showing up because you have the authority. And it should be a positive for people that are working on it. It's going to affect people that click, set it and forget it, as we say, right? Because they're not going to be updating for zero clicks. They're not going to be updating to be found on AI search. But the people that have the opportunity to compete and to do a good job.
Have your similar to me, have you guys experienced anything from your clients in terms of comments yet? Like they're upset that they're one, maybe not showing up on Google as high or as they wanted to, or even on AI when certain questions are answered on AI, are they starting to comment at all? Maybe it's too early for AI, but
yeah, I think it is. We started seeing it with SGE months ago, right? So. We handled those questions back then when we said yes, things are changing, but it's affecting everybody.
Yeah.
And at the time, I don't think we knew exactly what was going to happen, because it changed, and it was just for certain industries. It wasn't as much for local and those kind of things. And now it's kind of been embraced. So it's affecting everybody.
Yeah.
But the conversations we're having now is more about AI search and what needs to happen. And once you explain to them, hey, you have to be there for the problems, like we've said over and over again, and be specific, zero in on your personas, your customer base that you want to go after, and zero in on the problems that they're having today. You'll be okay.
I will say I'm happy that I haven't, but I've seen the opposite. So the reason I think that I haven't is because when we learned about what was happening, I decided, it's been 2 years now, where I took my clients, and fortunately they all trusted me to say, there's this thing that you need to be the top of, and I don't know how to get you there, but pay me more to do so. And they trusted me. And so we started just testing and questioning and reviewing. And I'm happy to say, honestly, that they're happy that they're getting clients from people calling as a result of this zero click, but the quality of clients they're getting. This week, because we see the form fills when clients fill out form fills, and a lot of times they would say to me, I'm just getting junk. People are selling to me, blah, 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 blah. That's always going to exist. But last week, I had one of my clients call, and it was a very niche persona that we were going after. And that persona said, I've been, I'm basically I'm your ideal client. And they didn't say that, but it was what we were researching on. Specifically, it was in the healthcare area that they were, and they were like, and I set up I set up my S-Core, which is what we had advised them to do on their page. And now I'm ready to get an accountant. And I've been reading and researching from your website. So imagine the level of trust that they have.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go start my own business, in a few months. So I hope I'm a good person for you to work with. Literally, like I hope I'm a good, so I was just like that's that type of a referral. They've gained trust before they even had the first conversation.
Yeah.
So at that point, like it doesn't matter where you are on that page, but if you've connected that far with the client, like that customer is probably worth $4,000 or $5,000 to that client, over time. And so, doing that, and it was a lot of work to get to that point, but having done it in advance, and I would say now is in advance for most people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's great to hear that everybody has stories around meaningful leads, way more meaningful leads now that you're getting more specific with your content. Higher intent content leads to much more important, meaningful leads. So that's great. Thank you for tuning in to Why Your Business is Invisible Online. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do us a favor and subscribe and follow us on Spotify and Apple. Be sure to share it with other business owners who might find it helpful. If you want to dig deeper, contact us at ruinvisibleonline.com. That's capital letter R, capital letter U, followed by invisibleonline.com. Or message us on our LinkedIn business profile with the same title, Are You Invisible Online? The information shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and may or may not reflect the official policy or position of WSI Corporate. Always consult a qualified digital marketing expert before making significant changes to your online strategy. Until next time, keep connecting with the people who matter most to your business and join us for our next episode.